got a juicy one for you. What does your wallet, your relationships, and intimacy, how are they all related? Well, I'm going to reveal a really surprising link that just might free you from money or relational conflict and tension that feels kind of like a tug of war. So let's dive in. I'm going to make a couple really bold statements, and I invite you to really feel into my words and feel how they land within you. Money is a mirror for your relationship with yourself. And how you are with money is how you are with energy, your energy. It's kind of a power-packed statement. And at first you might seem, no, that can't be it. But let's dive a little deeper to that. When I talk about money being a mirror for your inner relationship, I want to relate this now to the relationships that you might find yourself in, whether that's a partnered relationship or rather the people that you surround yourself, that they all kind of have a theme if you look at that. And I want you to look at that theme of the relationships that you have, and I want you to look at them as well as mirrors of your inner relationship, because that's what relationships do. The outer is a reflection of the inner. And so relationships that we are involved in are mirroring aspects of ourselves. A lot of times are the aspects that we want to hide and deny and push away because we don't want to see it. And those relationships allow us to see ourselves, not to blame and shame and push away, but to be able to integrate so that we can see ourselves as a constantly expanding narrative, so we don't get locked in just seeing ourselves a certain way. So that's the function of relationships. They help us to see. And when we think about money, it's not outside of you. Money isn't a separate entity. Money is a mirror, just like energy, just like relationships are to you. And so when I talk about this mirror that money is to your inner relationship, I want you to think about the things of yourself that you don't want to see, the things of yourself that you don't want to do or deal with. And partners are most likely reflecting that. And so money will reflect that too. So if you look at the themes in your relationship, and I'm going to share personally with you so you can maybe connect the dots. If I were to characterize my money story, I would say it's one of an avoidant relationship. For many years, this is the way I was with money. And what I mean by that is when it was good, when money was flowing and I wasn't worried about it, I kind of had this approach to it where it was like, just be there and I don't want to deal with you. But I'm so glad, I'm glad it's there and I'll spend it, and there was not a lot of awareness. And when money wasn't flowing and I felt a constriction in money, then I turned really forceful with money. I had an aggression towards money. I was like, come here, you should be here. Why aren't you here? Why aren't you delivering for me? And so the relationship was conflict driven in some ways. The attention I gave it was in a negative connotation. It was only based on there being a problem. And so what's interesting about this relationship with money is that my financial abundance has seemed in my life to be like a roller coaster, peaks and valleys. But if you think about that, that's exactly the way I've treated it. When it's good and it's high. And when it's not good, it's low. And my relational intimacy with money was low. And so avoiding money didn't really serve me, hasn't served me. And what I thought was interesting is when I looked at my relationships, they were mirroring the exact same thing. I would find myself with partners that were avoidant in their attachment style, which means that when things were good, I didn't get much attention, and I got a lot more attention when we were in conflict. But it wasn't the kind of attention that I really wanted. And so both of these point back to a miss within my own life, which is my own personal intimacy. So if we take the example of money, if I'm avoidant with money and I just don't really want to look at it, things like not knowing really where I'm spending my money, not knowing where I'm spending my energy, just kind of unconsciously just delving it out. And then consciously grasping. Those two things don't really serve relationships, do they? And they don't serve money either. And they don't serve our energy. They're all three mirrors of the same thing. So you might ask, well, why is this helpful? What do I do with this? Well, what's helpful is when we really see the truth about anything, we're in a place of power, because right beside truth is the freedom to choose something different. And until we tell the truth, we really don't always know that we have a choice. When I started to see my relationships being of the avoidant nature, I realized that my path was to develop greater self-intimacy with myself, to actually pay attention to how I was feeling, to what I needed, to be more honest with the boundaries I needed to have, to let my yeses be more full yeses and my no's to be honest no's. And with money, I had to stop hiding from money. I had to actually start looking at where I was spending and make conscious choices, not to grasp or hold on to money tightly, but to just spend it in ways that actually really delighted me, instead of unconsciously just delving out money or consciously holding back from spending, where I actually felt drawn to spend. It was actually that I got more truthful and honest with that I felt a freedom from all of it, where I could actually see that the way forward to having a better relationships in my life, to having better money flow, all was in my own hands. And it all had to do with my willingness to develop intimacy with myself. So how this helps you, money is where you're feeling the push-pull. Then look at your relationships. Look at them as symbols and reflections for where there's some things that you might need to do for yourself. So look at anything that anyone's not doing for you and ask yourself, am I even doing those things for myself? Do I have the ability to do this within? Can I start within and cultivate whatever it is that I've asked others to do for me? Can I start to believe that I can give that to myself? And if relationships are the point of contention, then look at your money relationship and look at what it's showing you. What are your spending habits, and what are your views on money and your attitude towards money? What is that telling you about your attitude towards yourself? And again, the things that you would do to remedy that situation with money are probably the same things that you would have to do relationally and internally. So really, the only way the mirror changes is to change the person that's doing the reflecting. So we can't manipulate the external, the people, the money, because it's all us. Really, it's just reflecting us. And what's so powerful is that when we shift, the external must shift. So our money relationship and flow changes, our relationships change. So I really invite you to really take a look under the hood for this. Really look at what money and your relationships and intimacy, what are they trying to show you? And are you willing to tell the truth? And are you willing to come home to yourself and realize that everything starts internally? This is such a powerful way to bring more ease and flow within relationships and money. And this is really a way to unhook from giving money or relationships more power than they need in our life, which is oftentimes the source really of our struggle and stress, is that we're bowing to a money god or a relationship god. And we're kind of thinking that if we have to do all these things to make it better, when really we are the sovereign being that gets to choose. And really, when we take responsibility and authority in our life, then money and relationships get put in the right place. And it's really powerful. So if this is a topic that interests you, if you want to go deeper, I'm leading an in-person workshop on October 19th at a local store, Soulful PDX in Portland, Oregon. And I invite you to come for this really powerful workshop. This is not a workshop about a manifestation like 5-step process or a vision board. There's nothing wrong with those things, but this is a deep, juicy, truth-telling workshop in which we're going to really get behind the energetics behind money and relationships and really free ourselves from this, like, I don't want to see, I want to push away, to the truth, and really getting the pathway back to that power I talked about, to really unhooking for the ways in which we are leaking power and not truly owning the keys. So if this is something that interests you, come to the workshop. I promise this is going to be transformative. And if you can't make the workshop, or maybe you don't live locally, message me. I offer free 30-minute assessments. Let's chat and see if this is work that would be helpful for you, because I promise you, love, you are going to find that this is going to impact everything in your life. I promise you, and you deserve it. Blessings to you on your journey of intimacy, on your journey of opening to you, the answer to everything in your life. Thanks for listening, friends. If this helped you, I really, really invite you to share this, like, subscribe, comment if you've got questions, comment if this touched you. I love hearing from you. Until next time.